So in the last session, we discussed about default directories, what we have in Linux. And this is the basic hardware requirement, minimum requirement. If you want to, excuse me, if you want to install Linux operating system, this is the minimum hardware requirement. RAM, command line interface means 512 MB, graphical user interface means 1 GB RAM, minimum requirement. And hard disk space for command line interface 10 GB and for graphical user interface 15 GB space is required. Even for 10 GB, with 10 GB also, I'll show how to install graphical user interface. And this is the recommended partition size. While installing the operating system, these are the recommended partitions. These are not compulsory partitions, recommended partitions in Linux. These are the recommended partitions. See, while installing the operating system in Windows, C is compulsory, right? Similarly, in Linux, these are the recommended partitions. In this, / and swap are the compulsory partitions. What are the recommended partitions in Linux means? These are the recommended partitions. In some interviews, in written tests or in oral tests, in like freshers, as a fresher you are going, you will get this question. What are the recommended partitions in Linux? And these are the recommended partitions. And what are the compulsory partitions? Means / and swap are the compulsory partition. / is compulsory because it is a parent directory. / is compulsory partition because it is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. Means it is a primary partition. So it is compulsory partition. In Windows, C is compulsory. Here, forward slash is compulsory. And next one is swap memory. Swap partition also compulsory while installing the operating system in Linux. What is swap means? It is a virtual memory which is used to increase the speed of physical memory, means RAM. So, forward slash and swap are the compulsory partitions in Linux while installing the operating system. Remaining are recommended, not compulsory. They are recommended partitions. Okay, slash boot is recommended because see, slash boot contains what? Bootable files. It requires 2 to 500 MB space. Enough. So what I will do is I'll give the space between 2 to 500 so that no one can store personal data in slash boot because space is not sufficient. So while booting, it loads only bootable files in that scenario. If you give more space to slash boot, or a slash boot is created automatically from forward slash. In that scenario, whatever data you want to store in boot, you can store the data. It takes space from forward slash and it stores in it. But what is the problem? While booting it, it loads this personal files also, time-based process. So that is the reason while installing the operating system, we create slash boot and we give less space to slash boot. So it is recommended to avoid wastage. Slash home also recommended partition. Slash home contains what? It is a home directory for normal user. It means whenever normal user is created, automatically it creates home directories in it. Right. And whenever user is storing any data, the data is going to store in home directory. So what I will do is I'll restrict some space like 100 GB, 200 GB. I'll restrict the space so that using that space only your users can store the data. I'll give limitation for the users. Oh, this much space only like that. So slash home to restrict users in order to use the hard disk space. And slash USR and var. These two are recommended in server machines. These two are recommended in server machines, not in client PCs. For slash USR and slash var are recommended in server machine. Slash USR contains what? Default applications which comes along with operating system. And slash var contains variable files, system log files. Right. Slash USR contains default applications and slash var contains log files, system log files. So it is recommended in server machines to create slash USR and slash var so that slash USR, when it is created manually, we give more space so that it run all the files, default applications without any interruption. Slash var, it contains variable files, log files, system log files, right? So in server machine, they will create var also. Separately, they'll give create var and they'll give more space so that it can store all the users log files, system log files. So log files are very important in real time to identify errors. So they'll give more space to slash var. So these are the recommended partitions in Linux. And in this compulsory partitions are forward slash and swap. Forward slash and swap are the compulsory partition because forward slash is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. Forward slash only contains subdirectories. And swap is compulsory partition because swap is a virtual memory which we create from hard disk. Okay, and it increases the speed of RAM. Is this clear?
Yes.
No. I want to install Linux operating system. I want to install Linux operating system. So what we required for installing Linux operating system, we need a computer, a laptop for installing, and we need ISO file, right? So first is system. It may be laptop or desktop. Okay, first we need a computer. So what to do? We have options. Already you have a laptop. That Windows operating system is there. What you can do? Uninstall Windows, install Linux and practice. But we don't do that because Windows you are using, your data is there in Windows machine. So we don't do that. Okay, second option. Uh, Go with dual operating system. Means use Windows and Linux also in your computer. But we don't go with that option also because in order to install two operating system, dual operating system, first uninstall your Windows, format it, then install Windows operating system. Example 1 TB is there. Using 700 GB, you created Windows and remaining space is called non-DOS partition. There you can install Linux, right? So install Linux there. Done. When you switch on your computer, it will show two operating systems option. Which one you select, it loads that operating system bootable files. But I don't go with this option also because already Windows is installed. I don't want to disturb it. I want Windows. There is a data. I don't want to format. I don't want to disturb Windows in my laptop. So I don't go with this option also. Next option, purchase another laptop and install Linux operating system practice. But this is worst option. Just for practice purpose, we don't purchase another laptop, right? So I want to install Linux operating system. I want to practice Linux. I want to practice Linux. So for that, we have an option that is VMware. VMware is a third-party tool. You may know or not. VMware is a third-party software application where we can create virtually computers. If you have Windows 7, install VMware 10. If you have Windows 8, install VMware 12. Windows 10, VMware 15. Oh, sorry, Windows 11. Yeah, Windows 10. If you have Windows 11, install VMware 16 or 17. Okay. So I have already VMware software. I'll show you. Just you'll get a small setup file. Just download VMware. You'll get a setup file. Next, finish. Here you can see VMware Workstation Pro. When you install VMware software for the first time, you'll get the screen like this. Like this you will get. So here you can create virtually computer. Means physically there is no separate laptop or desktop. Virtually we are creating a computer. First we create a computer, there we install operating system. Any operating system you can install. I'll show you how to create virtual computer. See, select this, create a new virtual machine. Click on it. Now click on next. I will install the operating system later. Select that option. Now, operating system, which operating system you want to install, you can select that operating system. So select Linux. And virtual machine name, you can give any name to your virtual machine. I'm giving the size here 40 GB. Stores virtual disk as a single file. Select this option, click on next, finish. That's it. Virtually one computer is created. So here you can install operating system. Which operating system you want, you can install that operating system here. Now Select CD or DVD. Click on Use ISO image file. Click on Browse and select the ISO file. Before this, first download ISO file. ISO file link, everything I'll share. I'll share this all. I will share links through VMware. Click on OK. OK. Now, ISO file also connected. Right. Now click on Power on this virtual machine. Click on Power on this virtual machine. Power on this virtual machine. Now click on the first option, install or upgrade an existing system. Select skip by using tab button in your keyboard. Using tab button, select skip. Press enter. Next. Select language English. Next. Basic storage device. Next. Select S discard any data. Enter. Enter host name. Host name can be anything. I'm just giving redhat.in. It can be anything. Next. Select time zone. Asia, Kolkata is selected. Next. Enter root password. See, in Linux, while installing the operating system, it automatically creates super user account. Super user means what? Administrator. It automatically creates super user account. And super user login name is root. How we have login names for normal users like Jack, John, Tom, Jerry, how we have the names. Similarly, for super user also, login name is there. That is root. So root user is already created. Root is nothing but super user. Super user means administrator. And it is asking for password, root password. You can give any password. Confirm the password. I just give one second. I just gave 6 characters. That is the reason it is showing weak password. Still, I want to continue. Use. Select create custom layout option. Select create custom layout. Next. So here it is showing total available space. Okay, here it is showing total available space. Now click on create. Select standard partition. Create. Forward slash. How much space you want to give for forward slash? 10,000 means 10 GB. Again, here free space is 0. create standard partition. What is a state partition? LVMs in further classes, I'll show you practically that also. Create slash boot. You can give 200 to 500 MB space. You can give any space. I'm giving 400. Slash home also I'm creating. It's not compulsory. I give 10 GB. Select, create, standard partition, create. Now observe file system type is there, no? If you click here, there you can see swap. Oh, sorry. Swap. Swap size is twice the RAM, double of the RAM, right? I'm giving 2000 means 2 GB space I'm giving. That's it. Next. And here, still free space is there, no? I will show you how to use that free space after entering to the operating system. Next. Format. Write changes to disk. Next. Now here, select desktop option. Because after entering to the operating system, I want to use desktop also. Like graphical user interface also I want to use. So select desktop. Next. Here it will take time to install all the supporting files, bootable files in it. But this will take time for installing.
Yes.
Now click on reboot. So next we'll continue in the next session as time is up. So
Okay.
installation part almost completed, right? So tomorrow onwards, regular practicals will be there. And once you registered, ask them for the Telegram link. So and join in the Telegram link. Telegram. Once you join, message me there. And whatever the topics we are discussing, I will share the notes through Telegram also. And if you have any doubts also, you can drop a message on Telegram.
Okay.
That's it. Forward.
All right.
Create a username. I'm creating a user. Create a user with any name. I'm just giving single character password. So it is saying that it is a weak password. Still, I want to continue. Date and time. Set date and time. Forward. Okay. Just click on OK. Finish. That's it. Voice installation is completed. Okay. So what is this screen? What is this Red Hat dot in Jack everything? In the next session, I will explain you. So thank you so much for the session. We'll meet tomorrow.